You watching the Devils?
Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the so-called Silicon Valley and Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a short time ago, this crowd, they love their 49ers, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. And we're ready for football as the 49ers get set to do battle with the Tennessee Titans. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards, second down. Well, this defense for the Niners, they were terrific last week in the win over the Rams.
No matter what coverage was called, they were right in the hip pockets of the receivers all game long, step for step, running their routes with them. Turned out they were right there every time the ball was in the air, and they came away with 5 interceptions in that one.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. He'll drop to throw. He's going deep for Brown. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
So many times we see teams go on the road and want to lean on their running game, but this crew just announced they're going to try and air it out and make hay downfield.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. On now is the Titans punter. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Lance. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Mike 13, Mike 13. He's coming.
Play action. Now it's Lance. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40.
And time to give some credit to the big fellows, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
Check three, check three, check three.
They'll run on 1st down. Peoples. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to them.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Lance. Flush to, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. Now after the sack, Lance and the Niners staring up here at a 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. The scramble good for a nice gain of 10 yards, but still fourth down.
Well, it's not going to be a first down, but that's a nice job of picking up yardage on 3rd and long. Sometimes you just have to take what the defense gives you, and in this case, it wasn't enough to pick up the first down.
Had just the one big play on the drive, but that was enough to put him in field goal range.
And one big play of what they hope will be many others throughout the game. Every team has a different target for the number of plays like that, those explosives that we talk about. That allowed them to put points on the board on that drive. Let's see how the rest of the game goes.
The Titans offense set to begin the drive. They come into this one off the loss over the weekend, but you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is, because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we can walk away with a win.
They're going to go with a tight end here on the running play. And this is going to be a Titans first down as the tackle made just shy of the 40. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
2nd and 10. Looking to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Well, that was one I kind of saw coming, Charge. He had a free safety just hanging back there over the middle, waiting, and he saw that ball go in the air, and he jumped on it.
And I don't know why the quarterback didn't see that. That was just your standard cover 3, which means a free safety in the middle of the field, the 2 corners, and they divide the field in thirds. But when you have a free safety with range, like a good center fielder, he can go from side to side and make plays on the football as he did there.
That catch good for only a couple. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that, because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Schmidt. And they'll get this down to the 10. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. A great play there. His 11th touchdown of the year. And the 49ers add on to their lead. Extra point by Sly is up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown. So decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan? Or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Now back to throw. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49ers. Joey Slye for the point after. He's got it, and it's 17-0. So an early advantage now, and a good one. 17-0 our scores. They kick this one away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And they just had that pick six. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense, and he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack. Back quite a ways here, facing 2nd and 19. He'll look to throw. Check down here for Henry. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. So 8 yards on the completion there. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And it's a fumble. And this is going to be 49er football. A disappointing end of the sequence there. He was starting to turn nothing into something, and then he lost the football.
And sometimes things get lost in the transition. And what I mean by that is you go from being a passer to a runner. And at a certain point, once you cross the line of scrimmage, you're strictly a runner now. There's no more downfield threat. Make sure you take care of the football while you're traversing downfield.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
Mike 13, Mike 13. He's coming, he's coming. Check in. Ready?
Here's Lance. Touchdown 49ers. Kyle Juszczyk, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead. Extra point by Slye is up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. Joey Slye now to kick off after the touchdown. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's going to look deep down the field. And this is caught inside the 5. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. A big play that time for the Titans. After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Henry. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. Derrick Henry hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Titans are able to close the gap just a bit. Now the Titans leaving the offense out there. They'll go for 2. They'll look to throw. And they're going to get the 2-point conversion, caught in the end zone. And that cuts the lead a bit further. Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded right at the goal line. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
On play action, Lance. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Well, he's been doing this for a lot of years, with the arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one. Slide on for the extra point.
And that PAT pushes the lead up to 23 now.
Joey slide out, a kickoff after the touchdown. Now this is going to be returned from the back line of the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line.
The Titans offense set to begin the drive. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do. When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And this one is incomplete.
Well, when you've got a tight end who can run, you've got to give him a shot to unlock the defense. Want to see what they can get, taking the big shot downfield. That one winds up incomplete.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. On play action, they'll throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Different pass rushes are designed for different things. Sometimes you want to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Sometimes you want him to flush. I don't know exactly how this one was designed, but they made sure they moved him to his right. He got out of the pocket. Unfortunately for him, he was hit as he tried to throw the ball, and that resulted in an incompletion.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. He couldn't get away there on third down. The pressure too much, and he's sacked for a loss of 12. On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. On first down, Peoples. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
On 2nd down, Peoples. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The Lance going to throw. He finds his man complete. That's Schmidt. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Good, strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they'll run on the inside handoff. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 52 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. So operating from Tennessee territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Lance going to keep it on the option. And they go backwards here. Losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Behind the chains, 2nd and 13. Working from the gun, Lance. Throwing right, and that's complete. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
The 1st down line at the 34 here on 3rd down.
Hey, you're on an island over there. You're on an island.
From the gun, it's Lance. Buying time to his left. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30.
Now that's a quarterback who's in charge out there right now. Wants to throw the ball on 3rd down, doesn't find anyone open, tucks it away, takes off, and picks up the 1st down. Not by a little, but by plenty.
Lance now on 1st down. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Hands it off out of the gun. They juked him, and he is going to get this close to the 1st down markers. He's brought down at the Titans' 19-yard line. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Single receiver. Over there. Single receiver.
Lance looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
And for the 2nd time tonight, his field goal unit comes out here. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. Oh, that's offline. He hooked it. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. So an empty possession there. What do you think went wrong, Charles?
Well, it looked like maybe the plant leg might have given way just a little, and when that happens, guys have a tendency to pull through the ball to compensate, and in doing so, sent this one off target.
The Titans offense set to begin the drive. He dumps it off for Henry. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that'll make it a second down. They'll look to throw here. And he's got his man on the out route. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to throw here. He sets to fire deep. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big play that time through the air. 34 yards. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by A.J. Terrell. Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
Throwing on 1st down is Lance. Flushed out right. And he'll be forced out of bounds shy of the line of scrimmage, so that'll be credited as a sack. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Here's Lance to throw it. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And Lance now to throw. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And he's given his guys a shot for late points as they will take over in range for a field goal or maybe more. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Got a man, and it's taken in for a Titans touchdown. A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Titans are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. Now the Titans leaving the offense out there. They'll go for 2. They'll throw now on the final play. And he is into the end zone, so they get 2 more on the board here just before halftime. 4 seconds, all that remain here this first half as the kick gets away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And with only 4 seconds on the clock, time likely for just 1 snap of the football. quickly, time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. A final shot before half for Lance. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. From the gun, he'll hand this off, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Throwing his Lance on 3rd down. And that's knocked away and incomplete. So good coverage there defensively as it looks like they'll force a punt on this opening drive of the 3rd.
Well, let's coach them up a little bit from right here in the booth. That's exactly what they needed to do. They need to start stringing together some stops, turning the ball over back to their offense, and trying to get back into this game.
Yeah, a couple scores down, but they can eat into that quickly with a nice drive here on the other side. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return, and it'll be Titan football. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. They come in off a touchdown drive the last time they had the ball that cut down that lead. Now the defense has done their part, got them the football back.
Momentum started to shift a little bit when they scored the touchdown. It increased when the defense got them the ball back. Momentum definitely in their favor. Now they got to keep things cranking, keep it on high so they can keep cutting into that lead.
Henry again on 2nd down. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. .35 yards that time on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
To throw again on 2nd down. Lance. Got a man and he hits him in stride. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Throwing now is Lance. He finds his man complete. It's Schmidt. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Meanwhile, the throw here is complete. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down. Now Lance. Over the middle, complete. That's Schmidt. Touchdown! A great play there. With his third touchdown so far, number 13 now on the year. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Slide for the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. Here comes the return from the very back of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Derrick Henry. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
But that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catch.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off right around the 43. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
82 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Lance looking to throw it. And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. A wise move there, looked like nobody open, now second down.
Well, listen, when you've got the lead, There's absolutely no sense trying to fit a ball in where you shouldn't. You can see the coaching in his head taking place on that play because he saw he had a receiver in the area. He just put it well over his head out of harm's way.
And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
So that time they get the tight end on the hold.
Normally he's a pretty good run blocker, but this time he just didn't get his arms extended and let go quickly enough. The flag came out as a result.
Temporarily out of field goal range now as they come up on a 2nd and long after the holding call.
To throw, it's Lance.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's got some space here. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. A big play that time on the catch and run.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Grady Jarrett with the tackle.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Off of play action, here's Lance.
This is caught.
And the Niners are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
And across the chalk, into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. A great effort there with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the 49ers add on to their lead.
Extra point by Sly is up and good.
And that'll push the lead up to 29 now.
Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. Now this is going to be returned from the back line of the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Now, meanwhile, a final play here is incomplete, and that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter of play. The Titans on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. He'll drop to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 35. And he'll take this back down inside the 20. I'm starting to wonder, Charles, if 5 interceptions, is that the last that we've seen of him?
Well, I think that a lot of people hope that's the last they've seen of him in this game, probably including himself. If this were baseball, the manager would have been at the mound already and asked for the ball, and he'd be in there getting a shower. But in football, you might have to go stand on the sideline and watch the rest of it and see if your backup can do any better.
A gain of 3, 2nd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Peoples. And a loose football. But an alert 49er able to gain possession, so they will indeed hold on to the pigskin.
Could have been a costly mistake, but as it turns out, they keep possession.
You can't give away these types of opportunities in the red zone. And I'm sure that was flashing through his brain as the ball escaped his hands. Fortunately for him, able to get picked up by his team, fumble recovered. They still have an opportunity.
That is caught by the tight end, Kittle. Touchdown, 49ers. George Kittle hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the 49ers are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this fourth quarter lead. Extra point by Sly is up and good, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. On second down now, it's Henry. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 44 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Yeah, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, if they want to ride him down the stretch, he should have fresh legs.
And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That catch good for only a couple.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Now a throw here to his running back, and he's going to be down at the 35, gain of 7.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
And once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. Again, he'll drop to throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And now here's another interception. Picked off at the 35. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth quarter lead. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
They'll run on first down. It's Ross. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
On second down, it's Carson. Trying to turn the corner, but he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long. Here's Lance. Pressure comes, and the Titans able to bring him down. It's Jeffrey Simmons that time who got in to record the sack.
Well, here's where having mobility sometimes can work against you as a quarterback. He thinks he can retreat and outrun the pressure. But that time, they zeroed in on him and took him down for a big loss, partner.
A really big loss. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up second. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score.
Here we go. 37's the Mike. Mike 37. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Today.
Looking to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete. And they take this up near the 30 before he's taken down. They'll look to throw here on first down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. Despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. Second down. They're going to look to throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up fourth. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And boy, possession here turns over with a football already being in the red zone. And they'll indeed take a knee. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. What were they clicking on?